Welcome back to Talking Points, our new television panel discussion about politics in St. Lucia. And we're looking at a balanced view of politics because we have here representatives of the United Workers' Party, the St. Lucia Labour Party, and ONE. Before we took the break, Mr. Peter Alexander was looking at some issues related to the introduction of the DSH project, which is a $2.6 billion project earmarked for Viewfort. You were saying more could have been done.
Yes,
in terms of informing or bringing that particular project to the public.
Yeah, well, that's the point I'm making, that you cannot have a massive project like that, which is what, 4 times your budget, if you put it in EC, 4 or 5 times your budget, and you just go ahead and sign. Certainly, you know, I mean, there is something wrong about that. Mm-hmm. You understand? I mean, people have to be aware of things like that that's going to affect their livelihood. I mean, we have things, for example, like there is an equine free zone, which is stretching forward, I think, up 3 miles from, you know, the racetrack. We're talking about it reaching as far as maybe Labrie and going all the way up to Miku and so on. And you can't have people don't even know you can have like chickens or dogs and all sorts of things like that. You know, these are important things, and you must be able to get the people to understand these things before you decide, you know, to go to one side. You understand? I mean, the people have to be moved. Mm-hmm. You know, right now, I mean, I think from the little I know of Viewfort, from uptown up, all of that has to go. Then you have the stadium, you have the meat processing plant. You also have the garbage dump. All of these things have to go. So, you know, there are implications, and serious implications for the country. You also have things like water. I mean, how are we going to supply such a massive project with water? You know, I mean, the John Compton cost us millions of dollars at the time. And for us to look at the dam down in the south, how much is going to go? Where is the money going to come from? You know, all of these things should be in the mix. So at the end of the day, whenever government presents a project like that, they look at all angles, and then they come out and say, look, this is what we agree to do. These are the implications. This is what we propose to do to handle it. For example, we're going to have a dam which is going to cost so and so. This is where the funding is going to come from. You know, all these little things are going to put in. You know, this is what's going to happen to people in the south. You know, you can't have this, you can't have that. You're going to relocate you know, all of these things should be in the mix.
Mr. Clary, it seems like a shortcoming of the United Workers' Party to have not had the kind of consultations that are needed for a project of this magnitude. People are going to be displaced. In fact, we can see the total transformation of Viewfort as we know it. And the consultations that were held seemed like an afterthought.
I don't totally agree. I believe that we tend to use the phrase of consultation conveniently. We look at most development projects that has taken place. Most instances, the government, whichever one comes out, and at the end, most times you don't have any consultation. I am quite aware that there are concerns that, as Mr. Alexander indicated, the whole question of the possible relocation of people, the question of the water supply. But these are not issues that the government would not consider. It is, and these issues, you cannot go in detail to have consultation with the people and tell them, okay, this is a dam, this is going to require a dam, these are the things that, this is where it's going to be costed. The government is fully aware of all the implications and what is required. But that doesn't mean that you are going to have to consult on every issue, on everything. It is going to take an indefinitely long period of time to get to what you're doing. So I don't think it is fair to say that the government erred, because all these issues are taken into consideration. And again, sometimes we use, I would say, scare tactics to achieve our objective. In terms of, I think we need to be able to let, to tell people, yes, you may be opposed to something or have a different view to a particular thing, but you need to put it in a manner to educate the people.
So you
Not to
think there's scare tactics
I
happening?
believe to
By
some
whom?
extent.
By whom would you think?
By I'm not those who are are probably opposed, and I'm not pointing it to any political.
You think the SOP has a hand in that?
I think to some it's a political. Mr. George indicated anything has political implications. Any development, and we try. Both parties, all parties, try to make the most political mileage out of any issue.
Yeah, but the point is missing there is the scale of the project.
Yeah.
Right? It's the scale of the
You
project.
cannot compare a project that has 840 acres. You may look at Sandals Grand, right? Which was originally Hyatt. That was about 19 acres of land, 20 acres of land, right? Roughly. And the value that you're getting there, the number of rooms that you're getting there, 300 and something rooms. This whole project is supposed to deliver 1,000 rooms. Over 840 acres of land. When you look at the actual economic value that you're getting, it's questionable. It's very questionable. And I think I understand, I mean, obviously Mr. Clary has to speak to defend his party, but I think you cannot defend irresponsible governance.
You cannot
And that's what you
call it
have right
irresponsible
now.
government.
It is, because it is very irresponsible, Mr. Clary, when you can go in and within 6 weeks sign an agreement which has huge implications
We
for
seem
people.
to be focusing on
There's
the
no
scale
indication, but the scale is a problem, Mr. Clary, because if you're looking at the number of people who are supposed to be actually going in there, the number of rooms that you're creating, where is the water? Mr. Alexander's completely correct. Where is the water going to come from?
How are you going to see
Where
that
is
this
it going to
wasn't
come from,
taken
Mr. Clary?
into
It
consideration?
clearly was not taken into consideration within the development, because the whole set of hidden costs that the government is going to have to bear to let this project go forward, not the developer. So you're talking about relocation of utilities, there's a huge, right where you have that phase one, there's a huge like 66 kV line that has to be relocated. You're looking at relocation of people, homes at Bruceville, people living there right now. No indication as to where these people are going to be moved to. No indication as to where the farmers who are actually using the Beauséjour area for agriculture, the beekeepers who quite recently we heard were being moved to. No indication of what is the plan for these people. No indication for water. You mentioned the whole issue of a dam in the south. And when there was a study done in 1998, a feasibility study on a location for a dam in the south at Trimasi, the cost then was $200 million. Now, goodness knows how much a dam in the south is going to cost. Right? And as much as, yes, there's a project going on right now to provide water for expansion of water services to Viewfort, it's not going to be enough to look at the scale of developments that are coming on right now. And so then the question is, who is going to suffer?
But the dam doesn't
It's not, I'm sure the horses are not going to suffer, Mr. Clary, but people like you at Auger may very well suffer when you don't have water.
There are other sources of water, so you don't have...
But there's a cost implication,
Yes,
Mr.
there is
Clary,
a cost to
and the
everything.
developer
There's a
is
cost to
not,
everything.
that is a cost to the state. And then what we are
But
saying,
it's
the
a benefit to
whole
the state.
problem that you have with DSH is that the government of St Lucia is bearing all the risk. It is providing all the assets, land that's probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars being given away. Pretty much. Mr. Clary, if you look at the lease agreement says very clearly that the developer has the choice to lease land as they so choose. They have a choice as to whether they want to lease it or they want to sell. That's their choice.
Mr. George, you were saying, let me allow Mr. Clary to defend the fact that you were saying there are benefits coming. Tell me something about that.
When the United Workers' Party campaigned on the platform of building a new St Lucia, one of the areas that is of critical importance to the party is the South, the level of unemployment. We've heard almost 30, 40 years ago, before being considered as the new frontier for development in St. Lucia. Between then and now, can we put our hand on any single major development project that has benefited the people of the South or the country in general? Everything that was there at the time as Beaufort was declared the new frontier are the very same things that are there now, with the exception of two. One is the stadium, which we have not utilized to its fullest capacity. And the other development which can point to is probably the meat processing facility. Now, this is a facility right now, and we like to sometimes raise these things when it's convenient. But the meat processing facility, if it was to be open tomorrow, I don't think it would be able to sustain itself because we do not have the
Infrastructure.
not only the infrastructure, the coverage in terms of animals on the ground.
You have done
Okay.
No, you had
$20 million.
The Labour Party had
Mr.
5
Ezekiel
years.
Joseph was the Minister of Agriculture,
5 years.
and it was already designed, and that scale was decided upon by your government at the time of the government. So you are criticizing yourself. I hope you realize that.
I'm
Okay.
saying that you have 5 years to do that to ensure that the livestock, the level was there to sustain that this processing facility.
But it all points to, Mr. Clary, despite all the benefits that you're saying, the people were not involved. And I think that is a big issue because the first thing that was said, the beaches, no access to the beaches. Then there was going to be a destruction of
But these are the scare tactics I'm talking
you know,
about.
But these are
what
real
I'm saying,
issues,
but-
Mr. Clary.
How do you, on what
No,
is
what I'm
the
saying
basis?
is that for concern and for, if you wish, a smoother operation of the project, people should have been informed that this is what's going to happen, this is going to what happened, this is what will happen.
Jerry, let me give you
And
an
I
issue.
felt, personally, I felt the information was not forthcoming. All we had was that the Prime Minister said he signed this big agreement with the investors and the developers, and no other information was available. The only thing we were hearing is $2.6
The
billion.
information is being made available. People
Too
are
late.
being no, I don't think it is too late.
Through a leaked
So-
document? The
so-
information is
so
being made
you're
available through
saying-
leaked documents, Mr. Clary?
My point is that people are being informed as to what the project, we have the meetings to inform them. What difference would it make? How much difference if we had gone ahead before?
Yes, we will answer. I will allow my other colleagues to answer that question as to what a difference the timing of the release of the information would have made in terms of what we're experiencing about this particular topic. We'll be coming back in just a minute, and we will be going directly to Mr. Clary to allow him to give us further details about the release of the documents.